Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. Each Sunday morning, I go from the Hermitage to the parish church, first of all for my own confessions before the 9 o'clock mass, to the parish priest and to exchange any news that might be exchanged, and then to hear any people in the parish who might want confession also. And I come back passing the great silence of the tomb. It happens to be also a dense silence of hovering prayer, because those tombs are in the grounds of the ancient abbey of St. Keenan, who died in 489, a direct disciple of St. Patrick. And so those walls and those big chunks of the church still standing quietly speak on, reminding that at least they sheltered souls from the time of St. Keenan until the closure of the Reformation from eternal loss. Young men would enter there and they would follow a safe path unto glory. One can only hope that something similar was the case of those around them now in the graveyard. A little parenthesis, I know from local chatter that the 2 gates in that graveyard are actually of historic interest. The Anglicans, those who belonged to those who owned therefore the property, would enter in their coffin through the main gate. The Catholics would enter through the side gate. I often wondered to myself how much that mattered on the other side. One can actually often pause with edification or disedification at tombs. Why? They sometimes have a word. They certainly have a message in the form of dates, punctuation marks in the cosmos. On the other side, after much noise sometimes, a long, long pause. Indeed, a dense, dense silence. We hear nothing, but they begin to hear with the ears of the soul. And what do they hear? Precisely what this gospel talks about. My words will not pass away. And his words essentially at that point are, come or go. It all depends on how much use they've made of grace on this side of that punctuation mark. Death is the great equalizer. Some, as they go through life, make the maximum of that grace. I was greatly joyed this week to hear that a dear soul, not known obviously, but known spiritually, yes, John Henry Newman, is very active on the other side. Way back in school days, we had been praying for his beatification. We didn't think actually he was going to make it, but he did. One day, in college days, I went to visit my best friend from school days, as I often would in term time, and he was studying precisely in Oriel, where Newman had been. So, we went to his room and prayed precisely the prayer for his beatification. The room is still there, unchanged, as is the room that he had in the oratory which he created at Birmingham. A life essentially of calm and powerful words. There was no telephone in his room. There was only a place for writing and reading. Life was uncontaminated. The rush that we know had not yet entered in. People had time to write well. And do you know that he rewrote every single letter that he penned and kept it for reference for the future? So much so that we have all his letters, in and out. And from there, we see the depths of his soul. Indeed, in student days, a convert to the Catholic faith at university, you would sit there, always at that point, I was there, and other people were at the same table round about in the Welsh Library. What was she doing? Going through all the letters of Newman. She was doing a doctorate on Newman. And wow, was that interesting. A dense person who was actually quiet in his way, but powerful with the depth of the word, swaying by the 100 students at Oxford, and eventually bringing by the 100 souls after him from the Anglican Communion to Rome. Having seen, eventually, although he didn't set out to see that, the truth could not be avoided. And do you know that at that point, it was no longer an academic game. It was a question of salvation. He saw it thus at one point. Can I remain where I am and be saved? He did not actually sin against the light. He wanted it. Lead, kindly light, amid the encircling gloom, the gloom of leaving all his roots. It was a powerful movement that he was engaged in. The Oxford movement still goes on in its traces. Many came over. I am puzzled by another who came over around about the same time, Archdeacon Manning. A very interesting soul, married, who lost his beloved wife very early on. He knew the power of love, and that was important in his ministry. Do you know that he had a huge send-off because of his goodness to the poor in London? He became head of the Catholic Church, and when they were burying him, what did they find? They found around his neck, Archbishop and Cardinal though he was, a locket, and they opened it up, and what did they find? A little picture of a very beautiful woman, the wife that he lost early in life. And so, he too became part of that great renewal of the Catholic Church in England. Very different souls. Indeed, Newman is known to have muttered one time in the oratory which he founded while talking to his brothers, I have confidence in men, a quarter of an hour after his death. And soon he will be a saint of the Catholic Church, and probably a doctor too, because we know that that's what Pope Benedict wanted. The only one that he actually beatified himself in the very place. A great mind. And he gave to the Church this teaching, which has been much abused. It goes back to Saint Vincent de Lerins. The Church grows in its self-understanding. Dogma cannot actually increase, but it can develop in the understanding of itself under the guidance of the Holy Ghost. But it is the same doctrine. And as St. Vincent of Lerins puts it, quod ubique, what everywhere, quod semper, what always, quod ab omnibus, what by all, creditum est, is believed. That is our faith, and we cannot change it, because truth comes from the Alpha and the Omega, who is the Logos and is not divided. As John of the Cross put it, the Father only uttered one word, it was his variable. So God is utter simplicity and cannot lie against himself. That same God is giving us one more liturgical year, beginning right now. I would invite you, as it starts, to pause and ask yourself, what do I want? Do I want, essentially, to live in depth or on the surface? To live in depth is to gaze at length, to feel profoundly the contact with him, to give him space, uncontaminated, risky space. To live on the surface is to be always engaged with something outside one's soul, easily done. Switch on a gadget and cancel everything but itself. Useless conversations, useless Googling, useless viewing, or long, hard looks at love. The year will come and the year will go. The choice is ours right now. I just conclude. He does speak to us if we let him. His usual language is not dramatic. It's called his language in providence. He speaks the sentence of time. He is speaking now here to you in this. Listen while he's passing. It was shown to our great mystic, again in England, Julian of Norwich, enclosed, indeed walled in, to the reclusory at St. Julian's Church, there in Norwich to this day. And she was given to understand that God is writing history. Listen. I saw in truth that God does all things, however small they may be. And I saw that nothing happens by chance, but by the far-sighted wisdom of God. If it seems like a chance to us, it's because we are blind and blinkered. The things planned before the world began come upon us suddenly, so that in our blindness we say that they are chance. But God knows better. Constantly and lovingly, he brings all that happens to its best